it doesn't. Mission.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
This is Joe.
Are you pondering what I'm pondering?
And this is Rich.
It doesn't matter what your name is!
And this is...
You have to ask me nicely.
The monthly...
It's called for divine intervention.
Ish!
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy.
No way! Yes way!
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nothing is worse than having an itch you can never scratch.
Before the monthly itch begins, these idiots need to mention a hero of both of them. The great Roderick George Toombs. Better known as Roddy Piper. We at the monthly itch salute you and would like to dedicate this episode to the memory of this great man. But do not want to insult him. So dedicate to Mrs. Glablack instead. Surprise, surprise. Now bring on the bagpipes and enjoy this monthly movie special.
They think they got the answers. I change the questions.
Hello and welcome again. This is episode number 2 and this is the monthly itch. How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing well, man.
You're doing well.
I'm doing well.
You're
How
surviving.
You doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
Excellent.
Because this is probably one of my favourite subjects that we're gonna go and delve into.
This is what we're gonna base episode 2 on.
Yeah, and we're gonna do this monthly, I believe, because we're big movie geeks, aren't
This is
we?
a place for crazy people. I'm not crazy.
We don't use that term crazy, Mr. Cole.
We've got some real nuts here.
There's many other types of
But, movie, TV, I'm a big TV addict at the moment, especially with some of those great shows that are on at the moment.
which we'll cover all in due time because this one
Yes.
is movie based.
You see, we're on a mission from God.
Very much so. Because, let's face it,
Spit it out. Say it.
Marvel have done some magnificent, absolutely splendid films of recent days.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a big fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And the subject we're gonna actually talk about at the moment is gonna be about the new film Ant-Man.
Ooh! I seen it.
Who's worried?
You've seen it, I've seen it as well.
Oh, what did you think?
Before we get into that,
Oh, you're gonna make me wait.
no, I'm making the listeners wait, because basically what we're going to do is let's just discuss firstly, I've got a few questions about the Marvel Universe,
Okay.
just to see if our opinions coincide.
Alright. Pop quiz, I'm in for this.
What's tonight's plan to take over the world, Brain?
Oh no, it's not going to be that intelligent, because as we've stated on past episodes,
We are two massive idiots.
we are very
Disclaimer.
much.
I think we need to just say disclaimer. that these
Again?
are-
Throw me a frickin' bone here. I'm the boss. Need the info.
each and every time. I mean, I know we said it once before, but just a quick shout out to the people who haven't yet caught up and listened to episode 1. Why are you jumping in at episode 2?
This is the movies, they might be into it more than the news.
Yeah, it's very true.
Very much.
Disclaimer. We're two idiots.
Two
who know minimal things.
dumb fucks.
We say some really stupid, offensive stuff sometimes.
Sometimes we can't even say it.
It's such a fine line between stupid and clever. Yeah,
It's just that little turnabout.
So we're putting a disclaimer out there to say it's just two idiots' opinions. Don't put too much stock into it. Calm down and let's see if you can actually get to what we're trying to say.
Very much. We do go around the houses very much so. And for those who have not seen Ant-Man, this is why I'm actually stopping you mid-flow. Because there may be people out there who have not seen the film yet.
Okay,
So
you want to put a spoiler out there? Are we going to go
Not
into
yet.
describing really in-depth parts of the movies?
we will do, But because of course you can't actually do an opinion about the movie without making a few spoilers here or there.
That's very true.
But first of all, for people who want to just listen to us randomly talk about the Marvel Universe and to just geek out a bit about how fantastic these things are, we're going to talk just slightly about the next 10 to 15 minutes just about our opinions on the Marvel Universe. And what I will do is, before we speak about the Ant-Man movie, which I know you're bursting,
I'm on the edge of my seat, vibrating right now. I've been dying to talk to someone else who's seen it.
Right, before that, we will give you a spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert!
But before that, I just want to ask you one question.
Shoot.
What is your favourite Marvel film?
My favourite Marvel film?
Yes. So far.
Okay. Well, it's hands down the Avengers.
One or
Avengers
two?
Assemble. Why not two?
No, one or two.
No, Avengers Assemble, number one.
All
First
right.
Avengers film.
Not Age of Ultron.
Not Age of Ultron. Well, a fine film, but you asked me what's my favourite out of the MCU, and I've got to say it's Avengers Assemble.
Very much so, yeah.
I don't even have to think about it. There's loads of the films that you could choose which are great. I've got very few bad things to say about most of the films.
You're lean, and you're mean, and you're not too far between either, I bet, are you, huh?
Avengers Assemble just is straight there at number one in my head.
When you think about the movies of Marvel and everything like that, are you doing it through the fanboy? Because sometimes I have to take a step back.
Okay, hide your eyes and count to 1,000,000.
Because of the fanboy who's a big fan of the comic books.
That's where your lore lies. That's what you grew up with, so that's what you want to see represented on screen.
Rose-tinted glasses, they always say, when, you look back and you think about, how you would love those things you see in those comic books come to life.
The only thing holding her together are the bird droppings.
Yeah.
And they tried so many times. We had The Flash. Do you remember the original Flash series?
From the 90s, the TV show.
Very much.
I love that show.
I loved it as well, but you look at The Flash nowadays, you're just like, really?
It's been a while since I last caught it, and I haven't actually seen the new version that they've got out there.
We'll get to that later on, but not on this episode. This episode is mainly just to do with the movies, and I have to be honest, they made some fouls earlier on. I think really, personally speaking, it's when Iron Man 1 came out. The first Iron Man, he seemed to just... Because before that we had the Hulk, didn't we?
Yep.
The Hulk was one of my favourite characters, and it kind of bringing me back to... Because I have to be honest, Iron Man wasn't a big character to me. It wasn't one of my favourites.
I didn't like the way that the comic books, the design of Iron Man, I didn't like the art style. I'm not saying anything negative about it. I'm just saying it wasn't for my personal taste.
Wasn't to your eye, basically.
No. I mean, you looked at the suit and it looked like the Tin Man.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas
It
anymore.
looked silly to me.
Even though Black Sabbath did an awesome song, it was being Iron Man,
Iron Man does whatever an iron can. Pancake flat like a glove.
Hold it. That's Spider-Man. Black Sabbath did Iron Man.
Oh, come on. What do you think you're so smart? What do you think you're some rocket scientist?
Yes.
Waste.
Sorry.
Yes, so something good came out of it, but something even better came, because I felt that was where the eruption of the superhero... we've had the classic Superman films,
Richard Donner, 1970s.
Yeah.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Very much so, and that's kind of like the generation where, when I was younger, they were some guy, Christopher Reeves zooming through the air, that was
beautiful.
spectacular, you know.
Watching him spin around the earth, and no matter how much you knew, like, Superman can't do that, you were still just like, oh my god, this is so awesome. Superman's flying around the earth and putting back time, and he's saving Lois Lane. This is so awesome.
Hold on, what? Superman can't fly around the earth?
What have I done to deserve this?
No, he can't put. Sorry, he can't turn back time.
Okay, well, that's news to me. As I said, I'm still a dumb fuck, and I'm still, you know, anything that's on the silver screen, I'm looking, going, it could be possible in some kind of way.
It's because you want to believe. It's part of the, you know.
It's a beauty of it, and I do think we've been highly spoilt. I really do in the Marvel universe, but. If I reverse a question I gave to you, which is about the favourite Marvel film.
What is yours? Are you saying it is the Iron Man film, the first one with Robert Downey?
No, I can appreciate that, and that did light up a fire that was, you know, needed to be lit to get the love back for superhero comic book type movies. My personal favourite was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Where are your brains, in your ass?
Really?
Seriously?
Please, tell me. Why?
I don't know why.
Oh, good grief.
Okay, that's... No, I'm sorry, I'm not going to accept that. You're going to tell me exactly why.
No, well, yeah, that's stupid. Me turning around and say it's my favourite movie and I don't know exactly why. No, what I mean is, from a premise of the comic books, I knew none of them.
Yeah, it was completely unfamiliar characters, territory, storylines, settings. One really knew, unless you are into comic books, which the mass populace of cinema-going people are not. No one knew what Guardians of the Galaxy is.
Well, I, as I said, I do love my comics, but I just never invested time into those characters, even though, to be honest, if there was a raccoon on the front cover, I probably would have picked it up when I was younger.
I would have flipped through the pages.
Exactly, you know.
A raccoon with a gun, that looks fairly interesting.
That looks awesome.
Let's see what he gets up to.
The thing is, though, you know,
I wonder if he uses it.
Yeah, and he did. You know, he went crazy. And even the WWE star Batista was fucking good at that.
You are absolutely right. You do suck.
You know, it's like, even though he was acting as basically a wrestling type character.
Which is why he suited it so well, because I think he, like this is my
Vin Diesel as well. One of the, I always said he was very wooden.
Giant? He's anything but wooden.
Yeah. But no, I have to admit, even though it's one word, he done that one word.
3 words.
3 words.
I am Groot.
Very much so. But then again, I can see you doing that now, so...
Anyone who can do a semi-shit Batman voice can do it.
even a lot of Batmans in the past, George Clooney included.
Oh,
to the Batmobile. Let's go.
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
You're ready to move up.
Let's not go there. As I said, I
right now.
You know, superhero movies, there was a big loss of passion in the early days. So yeah, Iron Man I can give credit, but Guardians, it's because I thought, well, I didn't know the characters very well.
Yes.
I had no predetermined, because I knew Iron Man and I knew the Hulk, and you know, I knew these characters very, very well. Knew Thor as well, yeah. And those films, I knew what the comic books were like, you know, Captain America. I wasn't a big fan of him. Was impressed, not with the first movie, but Winter Soldier aced it. But
you know what? There's a strong contender for my actual favourite. Winter Soldier is fighting Avengers Assemble really hard.
But really, it should be a Black Widow movie, shouldn't it?
No. Why? It's Captain America.
Yeah, Black Widow for me, she would look fantastic.
Her lips said no, but her eyes said, read my lips.
But that was just on a personal level in a dark room somewhere, enjoying it in the privacy of my own home.
Use the Force, Luke.
Anyway, back to this. Guardians, as I said, didn't have any. I just thought, it looks a fun movie. There's a raccoon in it.
Sure.
I went in there, blown away. I really liked the special effect. I'm a big fan of
special effects and makeup were awesome.
I like. I'm a big fan of Firefly, which was a very cultish type, underground type.
Yeah, I've never watched Firefly.
No, well, it was very similar kind of vein, like a Western in space type thing. Sure. And I know Star Wars is meant to be that as well, but it was kind of like the Guardians had nothing. It wasn't overly intelligent storyline. It was just fun.
Well, no, because it is a kid's film at the end of the day.
You can't fool me. There ain't no Santa Claus.
No matter how much adult appeal they are, these are still.
And it had a raccoon with a gun. So
talking tree.
And the talking tree. I tell you something. If I was in a studio right now and if you turn around to me and you try to sell me that movie.
Yeah,
I'd be telling you, right, there's a door, don't let it hit you on the way out,
well, that's why you're not Marvel, and that's why you're not succeeding.
Yeah, but if you turn around and say, right, okay, it's set in space. Okay.
You've already got me.
Right, well, yeah, you're quite easy to get, to be honest.
Well, no, let's be honest, the two biggest film releases of recent years, Interstellar and Gravity, both space set films.
Okay.
I'm very credited cinematography and creditable directors.
I can see this is going to be difficult. I'm just saying on the scale.
I'm going to have a small talking raccoon and a talking tree that only says "I am Groot," along with a purple alien and Benicio del Toro in a funny costume. Yeah, it's and Merle.
It's a hard sell
as a blue.
It's a good sell for you because you're the kind of like, no offense, my friend, but you and me are that kind of crowd that film you would just go
for, basically.
Yeah, it'd be like.
Well, you say that, but
wow.
I'm going to say something that might upset you a little. I actually don't rate Guardians that highly.
Ooh.
Now, don't get me wrong. This goes back to what I said about I don't dislike any of the Marvel's films, but that one, it's not high listed on my top, order of ranking from favourite to least.
Okay,
it's not too high. I mean, it's above some definitely, but I like the film, but I just don't see all the love and all the gush for it, because there's a lot of parts in that I just felt were really
It had a raccoon with a gun.
I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet. But your kids are gonna love it.
It wasn't
enough. The thing is, the intro films, I have to, fair enough. I'm going to agree in certain ways. For an intro with a film and everything like that, you look at Iron Man 1, Thor 1, Captain America 1. The intros are always going to be, there's going to be a few dives and all that. But the humour and the pace of that film, I felt was dead on the kind of things that maybe it's more what attracts me. I like silly humour. I like colourful characters. I like things that are.
I do too.
Just with Avengers, that was extremely good. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Avengers 2, I felt was a weaker one for some strange reason.
Yeah, but not bad. Which
It
is
wasn't
what I'm
bad.
saying about Guardians.
Hey, come here. I got something good for you. Come on.
But what I'm actually getting to is what the subject we're going to come into the next 20 minutes coming up or whatever will be Ant-Man. And what I'm actually just stating, the reason I asked you all these questions in the first place...
Yes, what were you trying to dig around and get to the bottom
was basically seeing where your view set is, because I felt that...
Oh, so you're saying there's a certain type of Marvel fan out there and you're trying to figure out what type of a Marvel fan I am, so...
Very much.
Whether you should give any words I have any kind of worth about my opinion of Ant-Man.
I always appreciate your opinion. Doesn't mean I always agree on it. Doesn't mean I even give a shit about it. But I will listen to it and I will just go, you're wrong.
The man's a menace.
But I will listen to it.
You can't say fairer than that.
Well, to be honest, there's a lot of people probably just ripping their fucking, wherever they are, whether it's in
they're
the
all
van or
screaming out there going,
"How
"No,
dare
this is the
you?
best
No,"
one. How dare you say that?
Yeah, I like Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. Oh man, no, I'm not.
Superman
Again, all right. Just if you actually really want to get to some deep territory here, I'm going to say something which is also highly unpopular.
Go on.
I like Ang Lee's Hulk.
You weren't even born with the sense God gave the common dog.
And I really dislike the Incredible Hulk.
Are you talking... right, I get very confused with these Hulk movies. There's 3 of them altogether.
Are there?
There is 3 of them.
No, there's only 2 as far as I'm aware.
I'm afraid there's 3 of them. No. And while you carry on talking, I'm going to just... I'm going to type it in whilst we have to do it.
Try and prove me wrong.
I just believe I am right. And
okay, well, fine.
To be honest, a lot of people just listening right now would just... This could go one or two ways. It could go very, very well, where basically I can prove you wrong, or you can prove me wrong, and then have loads of people
as
on
you're trying to gather,
social networking.
As you're trying to squirrel away on that laptop, trying to find the true answer, I'm going to say, as far as I'm aware, there have been 2 movies made on the Hulk. One was Ang Lee, directed by, and the other one was when Edward Norton got swapped out for Eric Bana in The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, I actually...
And then his next appearance was just in The Avengers, or, if you... Was it actually... When was that after credit scene where Bruce is talking to Iron Man, Robert Downey, on the couch? He's like doing some kind of...
I think if they made an Incredible Hulk again, right?
You're desperately scrounging over there, and I can see there's only 2 Hulk films listed.
There's 2003 Hulk,
which is the Ang Lee one,
right? And apologies, because this is probably really, really boring for anyone. Is
the Incredible Hulk?
Incredible Hulk, which is 2008,
which was the last time that the Hulk had a solo movie. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out there, that I actually like Ang Lee's Hulk and I dislike the Incredible Hulk. And if you're interested in knowing why, it's because for some weird reason, just what happens and the feel of the movie that Ang Lee made, it really made me hark back to when I watched those cartoons as a kid, and it was about solitude, and it was about controlling your emotions and having to deal with the fact that you are this Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of thing.
Now that was fun.
Look, I've got to interrupt you.
Why? The people want to know.
People want to know, but I'm mainly because I'm looking on computer and it completely blanking you. So I do apologise for it. But
That's fine, because you've come back to tell me I'm right.
Don't waste my motherfucking time.
No, I'm not. Look, can we say the animated Planet Hulk was part of the Hulk?
No, because then you're going to have to include Hulk versus.
Hey, that was good as well.
It was.
I'll tell you what, though, even though they haven't really, I personally, you say you like the Ang Lee's Incredible Hulk.
I do.
I mean, sorry, the Hulk. Sorry, as I said, I get confused. To be honest, I don't particularly like both of those films, so I can't really argue which ones are better because basically, Edward Norton was intriguing to me.
I flipped when I heard that he got cast as Eric
I
Bana.
thought it was a good choice.
I thought it was an amazing choice. I was like, that is perfect.
But there was a rumour around the rumour mill, as we always class it. Basically, he had a big falling out halfway through, didn't he?
Well, Ed Norton is one of those kind of actors, isn't he, where he gets so attached to a project he's working on that he ends up wanting to have creative input. And, I don't know if originally, when he was negotiating his contract with, I forget the studio making it now. I can't remember if Marvel actually started their own studios.
I think it was Sony. I don't know why I got that in my head.
I don't know if it was Sony.
No.
It might have been Universal. We'll probably
anyway,
wrong.
yes.
Who cares?
As I say, the 2 dumb fucks.
Yeah, but originally, as far as I'm aware, Ed Norton tried to have a lot of different ways to take the movie, and he had a falling out with Marvel, and a lot of things were changed up, and they did reshoots, and there's even a perfect example. One of the video games that was a spin-off from The Incredible Hulk contained a CGI, obviously computer-made scene of something that Edward Norton presented in the film for The Incredible Hulk. Edward Norton wanted there to be a scene where he's on his knees in the North Pole, and he's, you know...
I bet he did.
Hey, how you doing?
Really?
I don't know. I'm just losing it now.
He's in the snow. He's completely exhausted from all the emotional distress he's gone through, and he's got this gun in his hand, and he's trying to commit suicide, and he can't.
Okay.
I mean, it's touched upon in Avengers. I mean, it's something that Bruce Banner, who's the guy that now plays Eric Banner?
Pass on that one.
I'm having just a memory blank right now, but there's this line he says where he's just
not very
like,
good names.
He tried to commit suicide, and you know, he turned into the Green Hulk and he spat out the bullet.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Well, Norton apparently, as far as I know, wanted that scene where he's in this North Pole setting trying to commit suicide. He actually wanted to do that, and I'm not sure if it was filmed, but because the idea was floating around, it actually did end up in that video game. But that's the kind of creative input that he wanted to have, and he just had a big falling out. And to be honest, I don't think he brought much to the character. I love his performances in American History X and Birdman.
Yeah, the more drama. Well, but then again, can I just make a recommendation? And you probably haven't seen it. If you haven't, then please check it out. Death to Smoochie.
Hello. You better grow eyes in the back of your fucking head, you horn piece of shit, because I'm not gonna sleep until worms are crawling up your foam rubber ass. I'm going on safari, motherfucker. Safari.
Gee whiz.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. He plays a great character.
I don't know why.
Robin Williams, right?
Robin Williams, God bless his soul.
God
but I tell you something. I don't know why, but that's one of my favourite Edward Norton films,
Is it
behind
really?
Fight Club. I have no idea.
Fight Club. I hadn't even thought of Fight Club.
I tell you, it was absolutely amazing. But you know, going back to how I see things is, have you seen? It's recently come out. I don't know whether you've got a chance to see it yet. It's called The Death of Superman.
Are you talking about the?
It's a
comic
documentary.
book? Documentary.
You may have not seen it.
I thought Death of Superman was, of course, the famous storyline
Yes.
where he fights Darkseid, and you know.
Very much so. They right. You may or may not have heard of this. I saw a documentary about this. They were going to make a Superman film.
Yeah.
I think it was around about 98.
Yeah.
97, 98.
Is this the one with Nick Cage?
Nicolas Cage.
You're gonna be fine, baby doll.
Right. Yeah.
Tim Burton.
That's right. He was signed on to write and direct with his people.
Well, not him writing, but it originally was the first writer was Kevin Smith.
I feel good today, Bob. We're gonna make some money. And you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go to that party, we're gonna get some pussy. And I'm gonna fuck this bitch, I'm gonna fuck this bitch. I'll fuck anything that moves.
That's right, yeah. Smith had control of the project with John Peters at the time, wasn't it?
Very much so. And watching this documentary really opens your eyes because, of course, Kevin Smith, a big fan of Kevin Smith, he basically, when he got offered to write the script, he turned around and he said one true thing, which, well, he said a lot of true things, but this one actually just makes so much sense. He turned around and went to the studios. He's in 98 when they just released Batman and Robin. And
tonight's forecast, a freeze is coming. Allow me to break the ice.
They've had all that kind of crap that's come out, you know. And of course, they wanted to reinvent Superman as the Batman from the Michael Keaton, you know, the Tim Burton one. They wanted to do the same thing to Superman.
Sure.
So he got Kevin Smith on, and he turned around and he straight away said, "Why don't you get the comic book writers to write a script?"
Makes sense.
Because he was a fanboy. He turned around and says, "I'm a fanboy. I can write this for you." And it's, you know, it would be a fanboy's perspective of how Superman, if you really want the proper people, you get the actual writers from the actual comic books. And this was unheard of in the day, right? And they said, no, we want you to write it. And basically, a lot of people, he had to go to meetings and, what's his, John
Peters?
Yeah. Producer.
Yeah.
Right. When he went into a meeting, it's so interesting. You have to see his documentary. Just briefly over it, turned around and says, I didn't want him to fly.
Hot doggies, that's hitting low.
Right. I didn't want him to wear the suit.
All hell is breaking loose.
Right. And I wanted a big spider in it.
The city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportion. What do you mean, biblical? What he means is Old Testament.
Oh, that's right. You know what? You're making me remember this actually now. This is all part of a documentary, you say?
Yeah, it's called The Death of Superman, and basically, that film never got made.
No,
right?
The Tim Burton project, not the Kevin Smith one. Well, neither did really.
Neither, because Kevin Smith got actual fired because Tim Burton didn't like his script.
That's right, because
there was conflict, but you have to see the actual documentary. I'm not going to go too much into it, but basically, it just shows you when producers and also the second writer that got on board on that particular movie.
Yeah.
He actually sat in the interview that they were doing, and he personally turned around and he went, I've never read a single comic from Superman.
You go. Where shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
And it's kind of like you think to yourself, something most obvious is, people are fans of a comic. You've got a crowd already in there. You've got to make it, of course, open
it's a
to.
character that's had 50+ years of legacy. It's lore, it's mythos.
Exactly. But nowadays, Kevin Smith's vision, that's why Marvel was so big, because Marvel got the actual writers and the people involved in the storylines and all that. They got the actual comic book people to come in and give their ideas. And that is why I believe the stories are so strong. And, as I said, getting that translated to the silver screen nowadays is absolutely
treats. It's a joy to see any kind of adaptation of it, let alone the great kind of translations we've had from the studio.
Exactly, and long may it continue, because there's one that I am desperately worried about at the moment. Really, really worried.
Yes.
Deadpool.
That's not Marvel.
Big. Sorry?
It's a Marvel character, but Marvel Studios are not involved.
Which worries me more.
Want to hear something that's even worse? That will worry you infinitely?
More than Ryan Reynolds being Deadpool.
So I'm just trying to get a rise out of you, that's all, for shits and giggles.
It's Fox.
Yeah, I know, I've heard.
The same guys who are about to release this Fantastic Four movie.
Which looks fucking awful.
The same people who made Green Lantern. No, it wasn't. Was it?
No,
that's Warner Brothers.
That was Warner Brothers. Yeah.
Warner Brothers. Yeah, you're right.
But Spider-Man was their creation.
No, that's Sony.
Was that Sony?
Sony.
Of course, yeah. Sony's given rights to the next Avengers. Sorry, what's?
No. See, now that's.
Is that a rumor?
No, it's a misconception right now, because even though everyone is focusing on the fact that Marvel is involved, it's still a Sony project, and it's still going to be controlled in a Sony way. And basically, Marvel have been brought on board because, let's face it, the last two Amazing Spider-Mans, the reboot of the character,
I really liked him.
But unfortunately, they haven't kind of gained the return that the company was hoping for. And so what they're doing is they're now, like most of the other movie studios, they're turning to Marvel and seeing what they're doing with these characters and creating this universe where they all mix and mingle together to create these types of environments and settings and stories and amazing movies that we know and love. And they're trying to learn, and they're trying to get in on it as well, which is why you're now having these Marvel characters that have been licensed out to these studios all of a sudden trying to kind of jump on their bandwagon, ride their coattails. And this is what I think even Kevin Feige has come out as saying, is that Their meetings are going well. He's enjoying the process. He has faith in the project. But Marvel's involvement, all he has to say on it is, this is still a Sony project. And to be honest, that's what worries me about Spider-Man. Fox is what worries me about Deadpool. And in a way, I still kind of don't know, because with the Fantastic Four trailer that they've been releasing, I'm curious.
Without a shadow of doubt, but that is mainly because the thing is,
it's by the guy who made Chronicle, right?
Yeah, which wasn't actually a bad film, to be honest.
Chronicle. I loved it. I thought it was great, and I thought that dude who went on to play the Green Goblin in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I thought he was perfect, and I can see why they wanted him as the Green Goblin, because he is an evil motherfucker. Like, he's a great villain, which is something that I can say Marvel does kind of suffer with, is its villains are kind of lacking. In most of the films, it's obviously the heroes that are the most interesting, and the interaction between them that are most fun and entertaining, and the villains are just fodder,
But would you say, for example, if you look at the Marvel universe as such, DC's probably got the better range of villains?
I don't know. I think you could make any villain in either's rogue gallery interesting. I just think that Marvel have fallen into a formula that's now proven for success almost.
It's a shame about Red Skull. That had potential.
You don't know. Yes, I completely feel the same way, but you don't know. They could bring him back.
Yeah, he came back about 1 million times.
There's always a way. Loki's come back. So, that doesn't worry me. There's always these
Loki was very
Loki's the best villain that the Marvel universe have.
I'm having trouble thinking about a better villain, to be honest.
There is none. And as much as I'm excited for Thanos, I still don't know if it's going to have the big payoff that they've constantly been drip feeding us throughout these movies, these little snippets of him turning to the camera, or turning on his chair around to the camera, or looking at the camera. He's being built up very well and subtly, and I'm enjoying it, but they have only been snippets, and I want to see the full product. And
do you think we're being overexposed by these great movies?
No,
is it running out of ideas?
I think it's movie making. I think it's the process of which they actually build these movies, because you can see the formula, and because they have got a plan in place, they have to make sure that certain threads connect so that it builds and creates this beautiful tapestry.
Basically, just like a comic book, really.
Exactly,
to keep
like
you
the
interested. It's almost like there's always something at the end, and then it's to be continued, and that will always keep the pages rolling.
Exactly.
But I completely agree on that kind of side of things. That there's some great situations in Marvel at the moment, and one of them is what we're going to actually speak about now, I believe, because we've spoken briefly of this subject of Marvel, DC, and all that. We will be continuing, and we will be going back to
hours on end.
We're not just going to talk about Marvel. We're going to talk about there's lots of great things coming up. There's it's not
Batman
just
versus Superman.
Well, it's not just comic books.
Squad.
But then again, let's face it, at the moment, in the movie kind of sector at the moment, that is the big...
that's the hot button, isn't it?
It is very much so. And
those
even
are the tent poles of the summer blockbusters now.
Yeah, I do believe so. I think it'd be very, very, very unusual for them not actually to have a superhero movie during the summer. We're going to get this every single time.
That's what we kind of find ourselves through. Like, if you look back through the eras of what genre movie was popular at the time, you had the big Western craze.
Go ahead. Make my day.
You had the big sci-fi craze.
Do or do not. There is no try.
You had the big horror craze.
Now we're on superheroes.
We're on superhero craze. That's what it is. All the guys and girls who grew up loving these comic books are now in positions of power. They've grown up with this love, gone through the ranks of their career to the point where they can make these things happen. And God love them for it.
Well, and you know, as I said, we're not just going to be talking about superhero stuff and all that, because let's face it, we've got a big Star Wars thing coming up as well very soon.
Yeah, of course, Star Wars.
So as much as it goes into phases, which I truly understand, but there is a lot of movies out there at the moment, and
I'm looking forward to quite a few coming up. I've actually just seen a whole bunch of trailers from each of the movie studios of what they've got planned for the next 18 months.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was very, very interesting. There are some real stinkers. But I know you can't really base a movie off of just its trailer, but if this is the impression that they want to give one to attract, it didn't do its job with me. No. But there are a lot of good things coming up in the pipeline that I'll be very excited to share with you.
Yes, of course, yes.
And we can discuss them in all due time.
As we said, this podcast will hopefully carry on with hopefully more support and more, listeners, and we can discuss about movie news coming up, and, talking about movie news that's coming up, let's talk about a review.
Spoiler alert, the Titanic sinks at the end. Shut up!